Have you ever felt like something inside you is quietly shutting down, even though no doctor has given you bad news? Maybe it starts with needing more naps than usual. Maybe your pants feel looser, your arms feel weaker, or your favorite meal just doesn't taste the same. You shrug it off. I'm just getting older, you tell yourself. But what if these changes are more than just age? What if they're warning signs that your body is slowly slipping away, and you haven't even noticed? The truth is, most people don't die suddenly. They fade, one small shift at a time. And by the time we realize what's happening, it's often too late to reverse it. But not today. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 subtle warnings that may mean you're dying slowly, physically, mentally, and emotionally. These aren't dramatic or obvious signs. They're quiet, easy to overlook. But if you catch them early, you can stop the decline, and even rebuild your health in ways you never thought possible. If you or someone you love has been feeling off lately, don't go anywhere. What you learn here could add years, not just to your life, but to your strength, clarity, and peace of mind. Let's begin with the first sign. One of the earliest and most alarming signs that you may be dying slowly is something most seniors don't talk about: losing muscle and strength without even realizing it. At first, it's subtle. You notice your arms don't have the same power when lifting groceries. Standing up from a chair takes a second longer. You reach for something on a shelf and feel off balance. It doesn't seem like a big deal, until you look in the mirror and your body no longer feels like yours. Muscle loss in seniors isn't just a cosmetic concern. It's a warning light flashing from deep within your body. After age 60, we naturally lose up to 3 to 5% of our muscle mass every decade. But when that decline speeds up, when you're getting weaker faster than expected, it may be one of the early signs you're dying slowly. Think about your legs. They're your foundation. When they get weak, your entire balance suffers. Falls become more likely. Recovery gets harder. Even your metabolism, heart health, and immune system are affected by muscle loss. It's not just your arms and legs shrinking, it's your life force draining. I remember one of my patients, Earl, 78 years old. He used to walk 3 miles every morning. Then one day, he told me he had started skipping walks because his knees felt funny. Within 6 months, he could barely make it to the mailbox. He'd lost 12 pounds, mostly muscle. His doctor first called it aging. I called it a slow death in disguise. But here's the powerful truth. Muscle loss can be reversed, even after 70. Start small: resistance bands, chair squats, light dumbbells. You don't need a gym, you need commitment. Just 10 minutes a day can slow and even reverse strength decline after 70. And don't forget protein. Seniors often eat less, and that includes the protein your muscles need to stay alive. Add Greek yogurt, eggs, or even a protein shake to your daily routine. Hydration matters too. Dehydration speeds up muscle breakdown. If you've been feeling weaker lately, don't brush it off as normal aging. Your muscles are trying to tell you something. They're not just shrinking, they're surrendering, but you can fight back. Because when you restore your strength, you're not just building muscle. You're reclaiming your independence, your confidence, and your life. Now, if this feels familiar, you're not alone. But the next warning sign may be even easier to overlook and far more dangerous. Let's talk about what happens when your appetite quietly disappears. If you've found yourself eating less lately, skipping meals, or just not enjoying food the way you used to, don't ignore it. Loss of appetite in elderly adults is one of the most overlooked but serious early signs of declining health. And when it's combined with unexplained weight loss after 70, it could mean something much deeper is happening inside your body. Let me tell you a story. Margaret was 74. She used to love cooking, baking bread on Sundays, making stews in winter, setting the table with care. But one day, she told her daughter, "I just don't feel hungry anymore." She blamed it on the heat. Then she blamed it on a recent cold. But weeks passed, and she started skipping meals entirely. Her clothes got loose. Her wedding ring slipped off, and the spark in her eyes faded. When they finally took her to the doctor, the weight loss was labeled mild. Blood work came back fine. But inside, her body was already transitioning into what I call silent surrender mode, a stage where the body, without drama or noise, begins letting go. You see, weight loss and aging go hand in hand. But when your weight drops quickly, or without trying, it's often a signal that your body is no longer processing nutrients the way it should. Maybe your digestion is slowing down. Maybe your sense of taste has changed. Maybe your brain is no longer sending the right hunger signals. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. Your body is running out of fuel. And here's the kicker. When you lose appetite, you're not just losing fat. You're losing muscle, strength, and immunity. Your heart gets weaker. Your bones become fragile. Your ability to heal slows down. That's why dying slowly without symptoms often begins with something as harmless as not feeling hungry anymore. But this doesn't have to be the end of the story. Start by making eating easier. Smaller meals, more often. Smoothies with protein and healthy fats. Nutrient-dense snacks like peanut butter, hard-boiled eggs, or cottage cheese. Eat with others if you can. Appetite often follows connection. And most of all, don't wait. If you, or someone you love, is losing weight without trying, it's time to act. Rebuilding your strength starts in the kitchen, one bite at a time. Because appetite isn't just about food, it's about will to live. And when that fades, the rest of the body often follows. Now, let's move into a sign that's even harder to measure, but just as dangerous. Constant exhaustion, no matter how much you rest. Have you been feeling tired lately? Not just a little tired, but a deep, heavy exhaustion that no nap seems to fix? If so, this might be more than just needing rest. It could be a critical clue. Because chronic fatigue in seniors is one of the most powerful and underreported signs of dying slowly. Let me explain what this really looks like. It's when getting dressed in the morning feels like a full workout. When walking across the living room feels like climbing a hill. When you sit down in your favorite chair for just a moment. And wake up 2 hours later, still drained. This isn't normal aging. This is your body waving a white flag. Persistent exhaustion after 70 can mean that your internal systems are slowing down. Your circulation, your organs, your oxygen levels. The heart isn't pumping as strongly. Muscles aren't getting the nutrients they need. Your body, simply put, is starting to conserve energy instead of using it. That's why you might feel okay in the morning, but by noon, you're wiped out. Or why you fall asleep during conversations, TV shows, or even meals. Your energy is no longer stable. It's slipping, piece by piece. I had a patient named George. At 81, he wasn't doing marathons, but he still enjoyed gardening. One spring, he told me, "Doc, I just don't have the juice anymore." He started skipping his walks, stopped tending the roses. Even his voice became softer. His body hadn't given up, but his energy had. And energy is life. When seniors are always tired, family members often misinterpret it. They say, "He's just slowing down," or "She's earned the rest." But deep, persistent fatigue isn't about laziness or old age. It's often your body preparing for the final phase. So what can you do? First, check your basics: hydration, anemia, thyroid, medications. Sometimes fatigue and aging health decline are made worse by fixable factors. But more often, the solution is about preserving dignity and function. Short naps instead of long ones. Bright sunlight in the morning. Simple routines to maintain a rhythm. And most importantly, compassion. If someone in your life is constantly tired, don't push. Don't expect more than they can give. Instead, sit beside them. Share stories. Offer warmth, not just physical, but emotional. Because when someone is slowly fading, the greatest gift you can give is presence, not pressure. But there's one more sign even more overlooked than fatigue, and that's the quiet fog that settles over the mind. Let's talk about confusion, disconnection, and mental withdrawal. What happens when the sharpness of your mind begins to soften, quietly, slowly, almost without notice? You forget why you walked into the room. You can't recall names that once rolled off your tongue. You start repeating stories and not realizing you've told them before. At first, it feels harmless, but over time, this mental fog after 70 starts to feel like a heavy curtain being drawn over your world. This kind of confusion in elderly adults is not just about memory, it's about identity. It's about slowly disconnecting from the people and routines that once defined you. And for many, it's one of the clearest, but least recognized, signs of dying slowly. Cognitive decline doesn't usually shout. It whispers. It starts with losing track of time, then missing meals, then asking the same question twice within 10 minutes. Sometimes, it's not even about forgetting, it's about not caring. That's when emotional withdrawal in seniors begins. They stop joining conversations, stop watching favorite shows, stop reacting to things that used to bring joy. And the silence that follows? That's not peace, it's surrender. I remember Helen, 79 years old. She used to call her grandchildren every Sunday. Then she started missing the calls. Then she stopped answering. One day, she sat in her chair for 4 hours, staring at the wall. When her daughter asked what she was thinking about, Helen quietly said, "I don't know. I'm just tired of trying." That sentence stayed with me. Because when a senior gives up mentally, the body often follows close behind. This isn't just dementia or Alzheimer's. Even without a diagnosis, cognitive and emotional slowing can mean that the brain is struggling to keep up. It's not receiving enough oxygen. Circulation is weaker. Nutrients aren't reaching the neurons like they used to. So what can we do? First, recognize it for what it is. Not moodiness, not forgetfulness, but a real shift in mental and emotional energy. Next, bring back the familiar. Old songs, family photos, daily routines. Speak clearly and gently. Use their name often, and don't force responses. Just let them feel your presence. And most of all, don't take withdrawal personally. Sometimes people don't pull away because they're angry. They pull away because holding on feels too heavy. If you've seen this happening to someone you love or to yourself, it's time to pause, to breathe, to cherish what remains, even if the conversations get shorter or the memories fade. Because when the mind begins to let go, it's not just about forgetting. It's about returning, slowly, to stillness. And now, let's explore the final, most physical warning sign. Changes in breath, cold limbs, and the quiet fading of circulation. Have you ever noticed that someone close to you, maybe even yourself, is starting to breathe differently? Slower, shallower, with little pauses in between? That's not just age. That could be one of the final and most telling signs of dying slowly. Changes in breathing in elderly people don't always show up like gasping or coughing. Sometimes it's a soft rattle in the chest. Sometimes it's long silences between breaths. Sometimes it's a shift from nose breathing to open mouth breathing, especially during sleep. These are not random. They are the body's way of quietly preparing for rest, permanent rest. But the breath isn't the only thing that changes. Look at the hands. Are they cooler than usual? Do the fingertips look pale or bluish? Are the feet colder even in warm rooms? These signs, often brushed off, point to circulation issues in seniors. As the heart begins to slow down, it prioritizes blood flow to the brain and vital organs. That means the hands, feet, ears, and nose become colder. The skin may even appear mottled or patchy. These are all signs that the body is shifting into preservation mode, letting go of the outer edges to protect what matters most inside. I remember a man named Sam, 82 years old with a sharp mind and a kind heart. He began complaining of cold feet, even in July. Then one day, his daughter noticed he was pausing between words, breathing softly but strangely. Within weeks, Sam couldn't walk without getting winded. His hands stayed cold no matter how many blankets he used. And when the hospice nurse arrived, she told the family, "These are not random symptoms. His body is slowly letting go." That's when it became real. Cold hands and feet after 70 are not just about weather. They're about circulation decline. And combined with altered breathing patterns, they're powerful signs that the body is winding down. So what can we do? We shift from fixing to comforting. We keep the room calm. We use soft blankets, warm socks, and gentle massages. We raise the head of the bed slightly to ease breathing. We offer sips of water, quiet music, and peaceful company. We don't try to wake them up or force conversation. We simply sit beside them, holding their hand, reminding them they are loved. Because at this point, what they need most is presence, not pressure, peace, not noise. These physical signs are not failures. They are nature's way of softening the transition. And when we see them clearly, we can respond with grace. Now that you've seen all 5 subtle signs, what should you do next? Let's pull it all together. Now that you've seen these 5 quiet warnings, loss of strength, fading appetite, constant exhaustion, mental fog, and cold limbs with changed breathing, you may be asking, what now? First, take a deep breath. Recognizing these signs isn't about giving up. It's about stepping in before it's too late. Because here's the truth. Most people don't die all at once. They fade slowly. One skipped meal, one lost step, one forgotten conversation at a time. But when you catch the signs early, you don't just extend life, you enrich it. You don't need a miracle pill or a new diagnosis to start turning things around. You just need awareness and love. Maybe it starts with helping someone eat a little more today. Maybe it's sitting quietly next to someone who's drifting into themselves. Or maybe it's looking in the mirror and saying, "I'm not done yet." Even if the body is slowing down, the spirit doesn't have to. And whether you're 60 or 90, there is still time. Time to nourish, time to connect, time to live on purpose. You are not alone in this. Because now, you know what to look for. And that changes everything. Thanks so much for being here with us today. We'd really love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us one thing you took away from this video and how you're planning to use it in your life. Your thoughts truly matter to us, and reading your comments gives us the energy to keep going. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who might need it.